the medical community's definition of alcoholism is just stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am 100% an alcoholic based on that.
Everybody smokes there. If you think this smells bothers me, you've never seen somebody light up a cigarette with a butt of a cigarette like somebody in Lebanon. Those people are crazy.
Chris's people, he's like, yeah.
Those people are crazy, man.
Yeah, they're just in there smoking parliaments.
Literally, it's like one in this hand, one in this hand, and then a vape in between just for safety. That's their
The
hand.
safety switch.
Yeah. You've just been into a pharmacy and you basically tell the guy, hey, can I have a box of Viagra? And they just give it to you. They just sell it to you. You don't need a prescription.
What pharmacy is that?
In Mexico.
The people who are able to be successfully just drink or just smoke weed, not even 1%.
But you guys, and I don't want you to take this wrong at all, because I certainly believe in what you guys do, and it's very admirable and very needed in almost all the communities. But
Welcome to the third episode of the TAT podcast. We are here tonight again at Black Rose as always. Thank you, Chris, for the beautiful place that we get to sit and smoke cigars.
Rosie, aka Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. Yeah. And we have our wonderful guest today here with us, and that's Abe with Sylvania Family Pharmacy. And I don't want to murder your last name, and so what is the last name?
Elkhatib. So.
Elkhatib. Abe Elkhatib. There it is. Easier than I thought. You know.
Somebody asked me that today, and I'm like, Elkhatib. And he was like, oh, okay.
Just spelling it might be a little tough, but
Yeah.
pronunciation, you just cut off some of the letters.
Get rid of it and just Americanize the shit out of it, and then you're good to go.
Yup.
Yeah, so, it's funny, like my grandpa told me, and that he hears a story because he came over on the boat, they're from Sicily, and back then it was like you come over to New York and, all the things, and they were like, what's your last name? And he's like, Diana. They're like, nope, Diana. See you later. That was it. And that's how it went.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's just how America was.
Funny story. Elkhatib is kind of the same thing in Arabic. Our last name was originally El Zain, and then back in the day, they didn't really care about registering everything. So Grandpa was one of those people that would come out and give speeches. So that's what Elkhatib means in Arabic, right? So end up just going on the family history that he's Elkhatib. So
he's Elkhatib.
That's
the speaker.
It's like shoemaker, the speaker.
Yeah, the speaker. That's kind of dope.
That's good. That's cool.
Well, we got the speaker here today.
We got the speaker here today.
He actually doesn't even have a pharmacy. He's the speaker.
He's here to speak to us.
He's just here for fun.
Yeah. That was
we
the
just
dress
found him on the
up.
side of the street today.
Again, I'm TJ, and I'm a person in recovery. I'm a business owner. I'm a father. I'm a friend, and I'm a person who loves to smoke cigars and talk shit. So,
my name is Josh. I'm a father, a business owner, a tax-paying citizen today, and I'm from here, and I love smoking cigars. So basically, Abe, just give yourself a brief introduction of kind of what you do.
Yeah. My name is Abe Elkhatib, owner of Sylvania Family Pharmacy. Been in the pharmacy industry for about 6 years since I graduated. I've been in the U.S. for a total of 12 years. Came here to start myself and give myself a future and my family a future. So I'm an expecting father. Hopefully, come November, I'll be a girl dad, and I'm excited to be a part of that journey. So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah.
Oh, reintroduce myself?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Chris. I own this place. One of the owners, in case my partner's watching. I don't remember agreeing to do these, but here we are.
hell yeah.
Also, real quick, Chris and I are friends on social media, and this dude's a hell of a chef.
Yeah, no,
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick.
I watch you cook at home, and I envious, and sometimes maybe we should do a cooking class podcast, if anything, because that is monumental, bro.
What was that shit you were making today? Was it today?
It was ravioli. You made homemade ravioli.
Last night I made ravioli.
Yeah,
so we have LPGA golfer staying with us this week. They don't get a lot of home cooked meals on the road, 40 weeks out of the year, and so I always ask them what their favorite food is before they come, and they're thinking I'm just going to take them out to eat someplace at some restaurant. And she came downstairs yesterday and she's like, oh, wow, you're making pasta. I was like, yeah. She goes, wait, you're making the dough? It's like, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to make pasta, I'm going to make pasta. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So that's what we did. We made ravioli yesterday. I made meatballs and a fried polenta.
It looked amazing, by the way.
What is polenta? I'm so
it's
not fancy
Italian
yet.
grits. I mean, from Sicily, my God.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
No, Italian grits.
Okay.
A yellow corn grit.
Yeah, my
Did
great grandmother.
flash
She's
fry
turning into gray
afterwards?
right
You
now.
made it and baked it. And then you cut it in squares and then you flash fry those.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like making grits. It's literally just water and cornmeal and some butter, and then it absorbs everything. And then I put it in a cookie tray, and then I put it in a heavy something on top of it with parchment paper. Put it in the fridge, and then once it's cool, you cut it into like like French toast sticks from Burger King size.
Yes.
And then I just used the air fryer. I cheated yesterday because it's so much easier.
They looked
They
amazing,
were
by the way.
honestly really good.
They looked amazing. I was like, this dude's out home like
That was the first time I made them, and that's going to be like a staple from now on because they're so easy.
Nice. 5-course meal. I'm like, this dude's just out home
Whipped it up.
whipping it.
I'm missing out on that, man.
Yeah, I can cook.
Man.
So tell me that you have Nelly staying with you because that would be sweet.
I do not have.
Well, all right. She's probably staying in some fancy hotel for sure. But
Well, I mean, this is actually an Epson Tour event. We lost the LPGA.
oh,
event,
okay,
so
got you.
not a whole lot of people you will have heard of, although there are a handful of LPGA girls playing in this one, and then a bunch of senior ladies because it's like a combined event. So
Favorite part of my video, your videos though, excuse me, is that when you do one when the moon hits the I like a big pizza pie, the music is priceless, bro. You put the background music.
you got to listen to all of them because the music pretty much goes with most of the stuff I'm cooking.
the dishes you're
So,
making.
what kind of dishes you're making, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll make anything, and
I'd love to see you cook some Arabic food.
I can do Arabic food. I mean, what do you
some
want?
belly dancer
I mean,
music in the back.
My kefta's pretty good.
You made pizzas the other day. I seen that
I mean,
from scratch.
pizzas.
Oh, cheeseburger pizza, right?
I did a cheeseburger pizza just because I had leftover ingredients. I end up with a lot of like extra ingredients after cooking, and so like once every week and a half or so, I don't want it to go to waste. So I'll just like do my own like Iron Chef. Like, what can I make from what I got? And
That
that's
is
like a
sweet, dude.
fridge
I
right
love.
now.
I'm a foodie too myself.
Yeah.
To the
So
core.
I mean, you name the cuisine, I can cook it, or at least I've tried.
Usually, I mean, that's one thing that I've honestly been able to kind of relate to everybody is anybody that cooks or takes pride in cooking, you'll see them do that. Like they don't want to waste a single piece of whether it's meat, whether it's, ingredients in a sense. So same thing, like, today I grilled out, I usually bring my own tenderloin and like chop it up the way I want to and ended up grilling out today. And then I had some leftover meat. What am I going to do with it? So here I am preparing
Bring it
it
to
for
TJ.
tacos tomorrow,
Yeah, of course.
So steak tacos, right? So instead of, it's not a
So you're a
good,
cook
whatever's,
too?
oh man, I'll blow you away.
All
We
right.
need to do some
Let's
shit.
do it.
Collab.
I'll just show up. You guys cook, and I'll just be there late.
But before I got married, funny story, I used to cook for like almost 10 or 11 guys. Our whole friend group would have them all over our house.
UT grad.
Yep. Graduated here at UT. That's, my connection to Toledo and what I try to do here when I come, and started my business here to give back to, the city of Toledo. It's kind of like my second home, now my first home in a sense. So.
Well, it's great because like we have no real original food to here. Like everyone who came here at one point in time over the past 300-400 years has brought their cuisine here, and they're so similar.
Yeah.
Like Italian versus Arabic versus Mediterranean versus like what is it in Arabic? The dish with the eggs and like the red sauce. You like bake the eggs in like the red.
Muhammara or something like that.
Sounds like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
But there's the same thing in Italy. There's the same thing in Cuba. Like these are all dishes that are all the same, just different
Yeah, I agree.
by like one or two spices.
I can
That's
definitely
amazing.
agree.
Well, Toledo also has like one of the most like restaurants per capita. Though we're actually pretty lucky for
Melting
that.
pot for restaurants, bro. It's phenomenal around here.
There's
There's
a
a whole
lot.
lot of great Arabic food here.
Yeah, nah.
No, it's
You
getting.
have
It's
to go
getting.
45 minutes up the road. You
So
know,
I
go up
lived
to
in Ann Arbor
Dearborn.
for 15 years.
Yeah, 20
And-
minutes, 20, 30 minutes to Dearborn, and
Yeah.
you're having the best Arabic food you've ever.
Chris's other stores in Ann Arbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place right up the street called Half of Falafel that's just like,
Crazy. Yeah, I think when it comes, I agree with the Arabic food. Toledo, we can do better. you
Yeah,
know.
it's
there's
getting
a lot.
there.
Of, there's a
more.
lot of
It's-
Arabic
It's
food.
coming in.
There's a lot of Arabic
I
people.
think
Don't get me wrong.
Beirut. I think Beirut's pretty good.
It's one of the
Yeah.
one of the
okay,
staples.
I think Sidon is pretty good. If
Yeah.
we're getting it,
Yeah.
we're getting Sidon.
Yeah, that's
Or
the
just
closest.
Billabos or whatever. Billabos.
Zane's, I don't mind them. They're pretty
Zane's?
good. It's almost
Yeah,
home
no, I
food.
said that today.
Home cooked food. They give a play of like Chipotle.
For sure. No, that's what I literally had that today.
self-serve,
It was
but
good.
with Arabic food, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. You know,
They have really good lentil soup.
yeah, they do. You should try their
Lentils.
coffee.
You fucking sound old as shit. Like you said, they have really good lentil
Yeah,
soup.
it's a gray hair. Look at it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, my grandma said that one time, I think.
It is so good.
Yeah. No, I've never even had it. I'm just talking shit. It just sounds
But
old.
lentils are very
Yeah,
high in
anytime
protein.
you want Arabic food, man, just let me know.
We can
You
do
guys
it.
are basically neighbors, so
I'll,
yeah, you might as well. You're probably
yeah.
3 minutes from each other.
We can do it. I can do everything. Arabic's tough though. Yeah, but the way you cook it is tough.
You know, I've only been married for, a couple of years, and my wife, I was like kind of scared about, like, well, she's like this 108 pounds, skinny lady. I'm like, geez, I'm about to starve to death. And she's been surprising me, man. Let me tell you, she's been cooking it up, man. Grape leaves from scratch, just making different like kafta, whether it's like what we call kibbeh. It's like, the baked meat with a little bit of pine seeds and stuff like that in it. Man, it's crazy.
I'd rather.
Can she make a mean pizza?
She could. I mean, she works at JoJo's, man.
Her dad owns JoJo's Pizza, so.
I love JoJo's. JoJo's
is good, yeah.
And this is a compliment, but JoJo's is deliciously terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I grew up on JoJo's at Tam O'Shanter up in the loft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The JoJo's pizza up there. Man, I grew up on that stuff. Half off Wednesdays, is it?
Half off Mondays and Wednesdays, man. You go get that pizza.
Get my sausage pizza.
If you go to the one on Monroe Street, my wife will probably serve you up. So.
Okay, so that makes sense. So we used to go on Wednesdays after his and hers.
Yeah, his and hers.
Yeah, to JoJo's.
Yep.
And eat
You'll
pizza.
occasionally catch my father-in-law just walking in, strolling in, just keeping an eye on everybody, and just walking right back out. His whole walk is like maybe 5 minutes throughout the whole.
They're like everybody in the restaurant's like that guy owns the place.
But I mean, listen, let me tell you, some of those like joints, they're small mom and pop shops. So like, the customers and everybody that goes there, they're all like starts, built in. It's kind of like you're saying, you grew up eating there. So you essentially will take your kids there to go eat, right? And then the same thing is going to get passed on and on and on. So, you build that connection with whether it's the owners or whoever's working there, and you just go to kind of almost to hang out, not necessarily to even like, it's not about the food anymore.
Yeah.
It's about just being able to see those people.
Everybody knows your name.
I worked at Cheers.
Did you?
In Boston, yes.
Really?
I did.
Nice.
What is it?
That doesn't surprise me.
There's an old TV show from the 80s called Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Very famous connection to Toledo. You should know this if you're going to be a Toledo guy. What's his name? Jamie Farr.
Jamie Farr, yeah.
Jamie Farr is a very famous Toledo guy, and all throughout Cheers, he's talking about the Mud Hens, and he's talking about Tony Paco's hot dogs.
Gotcha.
And they were probably in the air for 15 years?
Yeah.
The long running show. But yeah, no, JoJo's is great, man.
For sure.
I grew up working at Charlie's on Central Avenue, like in high school, the Greek diner.
Yeah.
And they used to be all over. There used to be like 6 or 7 of them.
They have phenomenal chili mac.
You were a cook? Is that where you started?
No, I served tables, and I came back to Toledo 8 years ago, and I walked in because they had this ridiculous cheesecake. It's like nothing you've ever had. It's like a no-bake type thing, but it's so good.
Interesting.
And I walked in and I just had a feeling, I had a taste for that cheesecake. I walked in and old man Charlie is still there wiping down tables. Guy was 100 when I worked there.
Yeah.
And no,
You had to have been the tallest waiter.
Yeah. I was so,
Like you were just sitting down, everybody's just like, they're like,
is he going to take our order? What's going to happen right now? Because this is scary.
For sure. I was a server for a long time too. I actually serving was probably one of my favorite jobs. I enjoyed people, obviously. And
you were a stripper too.
Yeah, I was a stripper too, and I'm never gonna live that down. But
good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
But I love being a server because it was like something always different. You got to meet people.
You still do that on the side, or
yeah?
You kind of
I wish. Yeah, I wish I could. And once in a while, taxes got to get paid. But.
Not gonna break your back and anything, right?
But it's being a server is like you can be whoever you want, in any given table. Every table you could be something different. I would like do an Australian accent sometimes, or I'd pretend I'm from somewhere else, or and just to entertain the tables. You know what I mean? And so I was
respect the hustle.
Yeah, it was just like I'm from Chicago, but anyway, so I think that we should kind of get into it. That was a pretty good intro. And we're gonna ask a couple of questions to our special guest here. He is a business owner, and he's the only person that's illegally allowed to sell drugs. For us quitters, that's pretty cool. For normal peoples, he's a pharmacist, but to us, he's a god. I wish you'd been my friend a long time ago.
I don't think it would have made a difference. Let me tell you that.
No, to make it work, I would. Yeah, we wouldn't be friends still. That's for sure. I would have stolen OxyContin somehow or another, but. So you're gonna be kind of in the hot seat. We're gonna ask you some questions. We're gonna bounce some things around. We're just gonna kind of have some banter and hope to have a good session here.
Shoot it my way. Nothing. I'm an open book, man. That's kind of the motto in my life, and if there's anything that I don't feel comfortable about, I plead the fifth.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure.
That's way to do it.
And so the first question I have is like, what do most normal people don't know about running a pharmacy?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you ask it. When you say running a pharmacy, a lot of people just think, okay, hey, if I'm a pharmacist, if I go to school for like 6-7 years, here I am, I can just go and it's going to be a walk in the park. Well, it's a lot more than that. It's first and foremost, it is a business. So you have to like keep that in mind. Then you bring in the factors of, you're in the health field and how much licensing goes into the background of things and what what you're dealing with. You're dealing with, scheduled drugs. You're controlled medications. You have the federal government on your ass. You have the state on your ass. You have everybody on you to make sure that you do not fuck up. Because if you do, you end up in jail or you end up, wasting this whole 7 years of you going to school for nothing, right? When it comes to running the pharmacy or owning a business, it's, it's what you all know, right? You have to be good to your employees. You have to be having that balance between being their leader, not necessarily their boss. It ends up building a respect for you and them that will take it away from it being a job to where it's a lifestyle, right? I wake up every morning, I go to work, I don't dread it. It's not like, oh, I gotta wake up and go to work, right? I'm going to my second family. I spend 10 hours of my day with these guys. So I'm spending more time with them than I am at home, right? So if you're not gonna get along with those people, if you're not gonna respect them, they're not gonna respect you back. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people tend to misconceive is, okay, these guys are just gonna go, they're gonna be these bookworms that all they know talk about is, drugs and medications and whatever it is. But it's more than that. Sometimes it's just being able to listen more than talking is very important, right? Whether it's to your patients, to your people that, work with you, it all makes a difference. Some of my folks that I work with, they love just coming to work just to be, to be there and hang out. They go away from leaving their homes to come and be able to be around the environment that we have because of that little bond that we've created, right? And I think that's what kind of brings on to my, I guess if you want to call it success. I'm a young entrepreneur. I just turned 30.
You're only 30?
Yeah, man. I'm a young guy.
Yeah.
I've been, I had the opportunity of being able to work with family. My brother and my uncle both are pharmacists. They're both here in the U.S. I was able to come from overseas and kind of learn from them while at school. So it kind of built me into this. What my brother always says, he's the updated version of me, right? It's kind of like, the jokes of a computer in a sense, like, update, and then this is who you basically spit out in a sense. So, we take a little bit of all the good things, nobody's perfect, but you take some of the good things and then that's what you kind of produce into your own business. And that's what made us, who we are today. When we say Sylvania Family Pharmacy, in the short span of 3 years, we opened 2 stores. Like, that comes from confidence and backing from the community, not just, not just what you're doing. Not everybody can just wake up and become a pharmacy owner. We all know about.
That was kind of like the next question I was going to get into is like, I know like my son's grandfather, he was a pharmacist and he worked for like, Rite Aid and Meyer, and his dad did own a pharmacy, but like he was never owned a pharmacy. And I feel like, it's a unique position for somebody to be the pharmacist and then own the pharmacy.
Correct. Correct. So, and that kind of ties into how you make that business in a sense successful. When we look at what a pharmacy and who the employees of pharmacy and what your expenses are, your biggest expense is your pharmacist, right? Your salary, your personnel. When you're the pharmacist, you kind of double dip into that. So, you're basically manning up your pharmacy, you're the pharmacist, and then you don't have to, you're also the business owner. So if your business is struggling or tight on cash flow or whatever it is, you're able to say, hey, this week I'm not going to pay myself, right? And to be able to pay the other people. And that's what goes above and beyond as what we're saying is you got to make sure that all these people that are working for you are fed, right? Nobody's going to want to work for free. So
you definitely have a very good culture. Obviously, thank you. I get all my meds at your pharmacy, all my prescriptions for myself. Anything comes up, I'm sick, my daughter, everything. And you walk in there and the vibrantness of like everybody. I've gotten to know all of them, thank you, because they're so grateful. And Kat's amazing. We talked to her on the phone. You call, she always takes care, goes above and beyond if I need a refill for my daughter for something. And just that, you can tell when you walk in there that they care and they want to work there. And they're very quick to respond. And, you know, and backstory with you and I, which is kind of funny stories. I got to meet Abe because of his brother. His brother and I dated a set of sisters. He dated the younger sister, I dated the older sister, and I went on vacation with all over the United States with his brother, with these two sisters. And his brother's wild, bro. Like I can tell you some stories about his brother. Like his brother's been through some stuff back in Lebanon.
He's a good role model too.
Yeah, he's been shot at. Like but he's that guy.
Yeah.
If you're in a place and something goes down, you want Hussein next to you.
Yep.
Because that boy will literally fight to death.
Yep.
He's like a warrior spirit inside of that man.
Yep.
And I see it inside of you also because you're the same way. You just the calmer version of your brother a little bit when it comes to that. But your brother, like one time, we had an office across the street when he had Toledo Family Pharmacy, and somebody tried to rob him. He chased the guy down the street, ripped the gun out of his hand, and chased the guy down the road. Like
nobody does that.
Yeah, that's wild.
You're held at gunpoint. Like you don't go chasing around the guy that was holding the gun at you.
Yeah, that's his brother. That was like the whole point of like, I was like, whoa. But then I obviously got to meet you in some of the fields that I'm in, substance abuse, and you've serviced some of the businesses I've had, and you guys have always gone above and beyond and made sure all the needs were met. And that was a cool thing that you cared about the community. And that was the biggest thing of like caring about the community.
I appreciate
that. And making sure that our clients were served the right way and our staff were served the right way. And I think a big thing when it comes to even any kind of business is communication. Like having a good opportunity to call them if there's concerns and then asking and then taking criticism. Because as you're growing a business,
nobody's perfect, man.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're gonna mess up, you're gonna fuck up. Just be able to, you know, own it up and, you know, say, hey, I messed up. What can I do to fix this, right? And, you know, believe it or not, you're talking about all the other, you know, folks when you walk in and they're all cheerful or bubbly. It ties into the culture, right? You know, when people ask me, when I come in, like, you know, people ask me like, what did I do to, you know, to get hired or to work for you? I'm like, you know, you got to either fit in the culture or don't work here, you know, because I got to be able to, you know, even if you're having a shitty day at home, when you come here, you forget it, you drop it, you're talking to everybody that walks through the door as if they're your family. You're going to treat them like that. You're not going to, you know, be able to unload your frustrations onto them. And that's how they'll treat you back. I mean, people come to you as a pharmacist. You're not just somebody that they're coming to pick up medications from. You know, you end up being, if you open that door for them to be able to speak to you, to be able to vent their life to you, you become like kind of like their therapist, man. Sometimes the information that you are able to get from them and reciprocate backwards, it makes a difference in their life. It makes them go through whatever issues they're going and know that there's somebody that's going to listen to them. And ultimately, that's what our main job is, right? You know, at the end of the day, we're in the healthcare. We're trying to make people's lives better. You know, if we can unload one part of their hardship, that's all they want.
Yeah. Piggyback off that, I think Chris is a big therapist too, because he probably hears more people complain about their lives than most people I know, because they come here to his lounge and they hang out, and he probably hears like therapy sessions 1-on-1 at the register, getting to know them. It's
we're going to hire him actually to be our clinical therapist. He's going to be the clinical
I mean, listen, I got a degree in biological psychology and cognitive science. So
extremely intelligent too.
He just said words I don't even know.
Big words, big words.
Yeah, he's hired. Yeah. So way more qualified for it than I am. So
but his therapy sessions, I'm sure, bar none for you, it's the same.
I might as well be a bartender. At least I get tipped.
Yeah.
That's
to listen.
That's fair. But culture for me, and Josh knows, I run it down everybody's throat because at the end of the day, culture is this. It's like, I can have an employee that produces, right? They can produce, they can be the highest producer in whatever it is that they do. They can be the best employee in whatever it is the category that they operate, and they can operate that well. But if they do that and they're spreading negative energy to everybody else around them, they will decrease the productivity of everybody else to increase theirs. And that, for me, it doesn't make sense. I'll take somebody who does 80%, but it allows everybody else to do 100%, because that, at the end of the day, they're bringing more value than just their department at that point. Correct. They're bringing value to all departments.
100%. I have to agree with that. You know, there's nothing that I can disagree with that statement. I mean, you know, sometimes they tell me, oh, this person is not producing as much. Well, do you see the intangible things that this person brings in? You know, look at what, you know, they're willing to do and go the extra mile for the people around them. That has more value than
if you're able to bring
what
one of
they're
my
gonna bring.
employees out of a bad day and you show up to work, half the time and like the way you're supposed to, like I'm good with that. You get what I'm saying?
I mean,
like,
as a
you do your
business
job.
owner, the biggest thing is the first step is they showed up.
That's
right?
it.
That's the first step. As long as they did that, they have accomplished something, right?
For sure.
They're already helping you by doing that. What's the worst thing that you think about when you're an employer or you're leader or owner of business?
Filling
It's
a
like,
gap.
do I have somebody to work tomorrow?
man.
Or somebody to open tomorrow? Or what? Who's going to be there? Blah blah blah. So
That's why we're hiring Chris. Make sure that doesn't happen. He's going to show up when everybody else doesn't, and then he's going to
is he going to stand at the door?
Yeah.
Makes the best
Who do
coffee.
you know
bro.
here?
Makes
Yeah.
the best coffee.
Which
you
is
and
very
Christian's
important
coffee.
in the quitters world. Than coffee.
Yeah,
They-
he literally, because he like Colombian coffee, and they have a machine here. I'll let him talk about the machine back there, but it's a very rare, high-end espresso machine.
I got to try it.
And it's
I
like
like
wild
coffee.
because you
Oh, you'll love it. It's
yeah,
good.
you
I
love
like
Turkish
coffee.
coffee and wild
It's good
coffee. And this
Yeah,
coffee
yeah,
is
yeah.
like
It's good.
motor oil with a froth on it, but it's very good.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put something in there, it'll stand up straight. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
like culotta. They call it
super
culotta,
thick.
right? Is that the terminology for it?
Kinda.
He's like, you murdered it. So
No, it's
He's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm
It's
not gonna
Cuban
do-
coffee. It's Cuban
Yeah.
coffee.
Okay.
You whip the sugar and then put your espresso in it. When they outlawed, I always say when they outlawed cocaine, they invented Cuban coffee because it's just like
they all know cocaine.
Do you sniff
New memo.
that coffee too? or do you-
2025.
Probably
Let's figure it out.
we'll make you want to hear in a second.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
would love to
it's
try
rocket
it.
fuel, bro. It's
Yeah,
good though.
it's
Yeah,
good.
no,
You'll be up the rest of the night for sure.
That's fine. I mean,
Well, you're probably used to it because no offense, like not. I'm sure in Lebanon, you guys back then I've seen like little like
Yeah, so we in Lebanon we drink a lot of like what we call Turkish coffee. Just it literally
little shots, right? Just
Dude, they're literally like shots of espresso, and they're just dark. It's literally
No,
if you,
yeah, it's-
if you pour like what we do. There's always these what we call like kind of like hand readers or any of those like the people that just lie to you just to get a piece of your money or whatever. Palm readers or whatever. So they do the same thing with the coffee. Believe it or not, when you finish drinking that little cup of coffee, because they serve it in like these ceramic like little mugs or shot glasses if you want to call them that. And they flip it over because the coffee is so thick, it dries up on the inside of the mug or cup or whatever. And then those readers will actually try to read based off of like how the coffee.
Like reading the tea leaves.
I want to do
Yeah.
that. Whatever that is, I want to do that. Where can we go to do that?
It's
That
sick.
sounds great.
My wife's
Can we smoke
aunt knows
cigars
how to do
doing
that
that?
stuff. Yeah,
right.
they'll
We
drink.
should-
They'll smoke cigarettes. I'll smoke.
You don't do
hookah,
that
they
here.
Smoke all that.
You're behind the times.
You need to let me get my hookah and bring it in here, man.
You can, well,
Where if these guys come here, I'll still pay for the cigar, but I'll
no,
smoke
hookah's
my own
fine.
hookah.
Yeah, hookah. I like hookah.
Yeah.
I like hookah.
That's
Yeah,
my
for sure.
cup of tea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a thing for sure.
Cigar, I'm gonna try to inhale
What about
that.
doka?
What is that?
It's like the tips of the. So they make how they make like the shishas. They hang
Yeah.
the leaves upside down,
Yeah.
and all the nicotine goes to the tips.
Yeah.
There's very low nicotine content in actual shisha. It's low tar, it's low nicotine, and because the way they process it, they hang the leaves like this. All the nicotine kind of goes to the tip. They cut the tips off. They dry it. They chop it off. That's doka, and then you hit that in like what it looks like a peace pipe.
Ah, gotcha.
Wow.
gotcha.
Oh, dude, do you
Blew
go
my
into a different
mind.
dimension or what? What happens, dude? I feel like
It's tobacco.
It's insane.
Peyote?
It's like it's nuts. It's a big head rush.
yeah, it's like the vapes, dude. For a while there, I was vaping pretty
Oh,
heavy, and
man.
I had like the nicotine back when they were just starting doing salt nic, but I had like
Yeah.
the mod, but it was a small mod. But I was putting the salt nic in it, so I'm putting 50 nic salt nic in the vape that you're not supposed to do that.
put salt nicking and all.
Yeah, and I would like hit it, and it was like it would take your breath away. I'm like, and I'm like, this is crack. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
This doesn't make sense. I
yeah,
can't
literally,
breathe.
your vision would. That's probably like, similar to what happens. It's like your vision would kind of go blurry, and it's nicotine poisoning. Really, is what
Yeah.
it is. But
Well, you
that's
can
why I
get
quit
that with
it.
hookah too. Like different flavors. I mean, there's some flavors that are just straight up like strong. Like you're gonna take a hit from that, and if you're not experienced, you're gonna get a good head rush, and you're gonna be like spinning around.
Ugh.
So hashish. Let's get into it a little bit here. So hashish. Do you have, is
It's
that
almost like weed, basically.
that's-
It's
what's the difference?
don't ask me, man. I don't know. I don't smoke that. No.
Nope.
Nope.
Nobody in the
No.
family. No, it's not a.
I mean, it's available in Lebanon. Lebanon is actually, believe it or not, one of the biggest producers of hashish. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, think about it like the what's the stuff that they make like moon rocks from, like the
keef.
the paste, the keef,
the
and
keef,
no,
yeah.
not the keef. The keef is like powdery.
Oh,
I'm
it's,
talking about like
the dab
paste,
stuff.
The dab.
Yeah.
So it's like it's almost like thick paste, if in a sense, that gets broken down. They make it into like bars in a sense, and then they break it down and then just roll it with tobacco. That's what hashish is.
What are the drug laws over in Lebanon? Is it pretty wild?
If you go to like a certain part of the, in Lebanon, like what's called Baalbek, you're good luck. It's complete outlaws. You're in their territory now.
Yeah.
Like, the government
Are they still
is not going to be able to do
not to be
anything.
like racist, but are they still like cutting hands off, like that kind of shit?
No. None of that stuff happened, man. That's just all
Like it's all
TV propaganda.
TV propaganda,
Yeah,
man.
for
You
sure.
don't see any of that stuff.
Isn't it
It's
absolutely
amazing.
stunning there?
It's amazing.
Your brother was
If
telling me
there's-
you could ski one day and then go to the beach the same day.
Literally.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be on the mountain skiing and then
Yep.
drive down and be at the beach the same
it's
day.
like
Within an
similar
hour,
to California
an hour and a
or
half,
something.
Beirut's like the
Dude, if
club
there's
capital of, it's crazy.
They call it Paris of the Middle East. Let me just put it that way. So in a sense, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
You go in the summers, you're partying at night. People don't know how to frickin' sleep. You're partying like from, what you call usually the after hours party. Good luck. They're going there. That starts at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and they're up till the sun goes up, man. And then they go sleep, do the same thing all over again.
They can't be doing hashish in there because if they were, they'd be go to bed.
That's what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
But
Fair.
they're definitely an uppers country.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Fair.
that.
Have you been?
No.
No?
There's one place I'll tell you need to go, and not saying it because I'm Lebanese or anything like that. You should definitely put Lebanon and Beirut on one of your bucket lists.
Especially for,
I've
for,
heard
food,
Beirut.
for a
I've
foodie,
heard
for
Beirut
like
is
a guy
like-
like Chris.
Dude,
Foodie.
food,
I've seen the pictures you've been over there in the video. You
clubbing,
were just there, weren't you?
partying, anything like that. Yeah, I was just there. I actually was down there for a couple weeks in the beginning of June. Had to go see some family. I haven't seen my brother in a couple of years that lives down there. And my parents come here all the time, but my brother doesn't. So with him and the rest of the family, I just wanted to go see them after, a couple of years of war and uncertainty in that region of the world. But it was good to see them. I didn't do much of the partying. Wife is pregnant, so that's, being around that, it's not the best scene, especially, everybody smokes there. If you think this smells bothers me, good luck. You've never seen somebody light up a cigarette with the butt of a cigarette like somebody in Lebanon. Those people are
Chris's
crazy.
people, he's like, yeah.
Those people are crazy, man.
Yeah, they're just in there smoking parliaments.
Yeah, literally. It's
Yeah.
like, one after the one in this hand, one in the next hand, and then a vape in between just for safety.
Yeah, to make sure they're okay.
Yeah,
Make sure they're
just to
okay.
kind of unload in between the two cigarettes with their
The
hand.
safety switch.
Yeah.
The vape's the safety
Yeah,
switch.
make sure you have enough nicotine at all times. Their levels have to stay at a certain level.
Correct.
I do want to give a shout out to Josh Elkhatib. He is not here tonight. That's why we have this wonderful guest host here today.
Better looking.
Way better looking, and has a way cooler job. And his wife is also a doctor, so
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Game over. But I do want to. He's in Disneyland with his family, and Josh is a person who doesn't stop working, and so we've been forcing him to spend time with his family.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that he's doing that.
I hope so too.
And he's enjoying Disneyland, and maybe he'll be
So
part
is
of the
he a
cult. He'll be
quitter or
part of
not
the
a
cult.
quitter?
By the time
He's
he
a
comes
quitter.
back,
He's a quitter?
Yeah,
Yeah,
quitter.
he's a quitter. Yeah, but he'll be part of the cult when he comes back. I guarantee you, Josh will be like, I met Walt Disney when he comes back. 'Cause that's just how he is. He's literally, he's like Walt Disney's like second cousin's brother, but it's actually Walt Disney. Like I met him. We're gonna actually do business with him, and we're gonna be like, okay. Well.
We talked about doing a deal together to remodel this
Yeah,
castle.
we're actually gonna buy Disneyland.
Gonna set up a payment plan.
yeah.
After we finish paying the guy that picks up the garbage, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the garbage. Yeah, make sure you pay the garbage bill. Thank you. But no, we have Chris here tonight, and we're very very lucky to have a friend like Chris. And Chris, tell a little bit about the sign. And can you zoom in on the sign real quick, and just so they can get like a clear picture of that. And it's funny. We were here I was here the other day, and I'm sitting here, and he like took a picture of me, and I don't think it's weird because I'm really cool and famous, and people take pictures of me all the time. So I'm kidding, but and so it's over here.
Oh, he said, yeah.
Yeah. And so, what was your that where'd that come from? And it tells me a lot about your character. Honestly, it
Bro,
made me feel
had
good.
me dying. I didn't even see it. First and foremost, okay, I was here. I don't know how long after he put it up. I was sitting with Chris, smoking a cigar. I get a text message after I leave here from our other business partner, Josh. what Chris took of me sitting next to it. And I didn't even notice it because I come here so much. I'm just like in the zone, venting to Chris. We're just talking like normal day. I gotta go. I had to go pick up my daughter from school, and then I get there. I'm like, what the hell? Like, where'd that come from? But go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if there's really a good story behind it. It's just
Is it symbolic or something?
so I've been doing cigars in one way, shape, or form for like 20 years. A lot of my customers in Ann Arbor, and I think this is probably a pretty common trend in the recovery community, is that, and for the better, they replace one thing with another thing. That thing a lot of times is either caffeine or nicotine. And so I have a lot of customers in Ann Arbor in the recovery community, and just, you know, they're your friends after a while, and affectionately I just started calling them quitters.
Yeah.
But in the goodest way possible.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm glad to be a quitter.
But yeah, and so
Prices,
these guys were
bro.
sitting here, and I said it during the podcast. They thought it was funny. I was like, "You can have anything made in like 3 days."
Yeah.
That came in 3 days from Amazon.
Well, we got shirts made because of his quote. They just got done. I told TJ we got to pick them up.
Yeah, if I would have seen the email,
Yeah,
which
I'm not a quitter shirts, and it says quitter shirts. So you're, obviously we got you one for you
Thank
too.
you.
But
Yeah. So whenever he's on, he'll have a shirt on that says that I am not a quitter. And
I'm
he'll
not a
have,
quitter.
I am a quitter.
Yeah. He trademarked that deal, by the way. So anybody tries to steal that, it's Chris's deal.
Yeah, no, it says for sure. It's an L. We already have the LLC. Don't try it.
Yeah, no, hold on. Do you though? Because my partner's a lawyer, and he might have already done it.
He should have.
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
I'm saying you have it.
Yeah.
So we're, shout out to the Quitter LLC. Rob, if you have it.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah,
Rob's
thanks,
another
Rob.
wonderful guy.
Yeah. No, and we got a pleasure to actually meet your partner a couple weeks
Super
ago.
nice guy. Wonderful family.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is like when you meet Rob, it's like I have an understanding, a little bit more of an understanding of you when I met him, and it's like he's just like this genuine dude who like he was wearing like the Miami.
Inter Miami, the soccer.
Yeah, the soccer. He's watching soccer. I'm asking. He's like, I don't know anything about it. He's like, they're in this thing. This normally doesn't happen. He's like, I just want them to win, and but he was here with his family and the kids and all this stuff, and and the way that you guys interacted and the way that you treated him says a lot about you, and then this kind of like sealed the deal for that like that's you. So
He thought it was great too. I sent him a picture of it. He said, "Oh man," he said, "You better wait until they see it. Don't go telling them about it." So
Yeah.
I mean, it was up for probably a day before, and I was just like, "I can't send a picture. I can't send a picture."
It was
And then when you
priceless.
got here that day, I went to the office and pulled the cameras up. I was ready to record just your reaction, and then you never saw it. I was like, "Motherfucker."
yeah, I'm very much like that. My wife will put like new pictures up, or she'll paint the whole house, and I won't know. I'll be like, she's like,
Shout out to
did you
Stasia.
notice?
Yeah.
Shout out my wife, dude, she's the best. But she's like, didn't you notice I painted the whole house? And
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna stay shut on this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, but doing their hair or doing their makeup or anything like that, eyebrows, and then they come home, they like, you didn't notice my nails. Like, I'm like, dude, come on. I'm not gonna pay attention to all this stuff. I have so much shit in my life, I'm not gonna pay attention to that. But we should give them some attention.
No, for sure. If she was wearing a thong, I would know what color it was. You know what I mean? So you just got to figure out what we'd pay attention to. It's got to give and
not
take
the
relationship.
house color when she painted the whole
Yeah,
house.
no, just the thong that you're wearing inside the house. Then I might notice the color difference, like is the black thong against the white walls or whatever, But
Stands out.
yeah, stands out. Yeah. No, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Because
Great.
the truth is that this is where we sit. So like when we come in, pretty much daily. After work, we come in here and we powwow about work and stuff.
Meeting after the meeting.
Meeting after the meeting, and we talk about a meeting that we're gonna have after that meeting, and then but we sit here, and so it's this is it's Quitter's Ave. This is where we sit. This is our area, and we've been here since day one, so I appreciate that and thank you. We also I want to like interlude into that, which is where one of us is going to be out. So if like Josh is going to be out, I'm going to be out or whatever. Like Chris is going to kind of be the filling guest, and he's going to be gracious to do that, and we're lucky to have him. So, what did you think? So like I know like early on when we came in, like we sat down, and I'm a person that doesn't shut the fuck up, and
We can tell.
yeah.
I'm just saying, just stating the obvious.
Yeah, and so like,
Damn!
but like I chat people up, and and that kind of stuff, and it was like, when I told you about the podcast, what was your first reaction to that?
Honest.
Honestly, give me honest, yeah.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat it.
I mean, I
man.
don't even know what to tell you. Like, how many people try to start a podcast these days? It's like, what are you gonna do? I want to do a podcast. Okay, bud. Okay.
It's like the next thing of
okay.
behind.
Yeah.
I want to be an influencer.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Good luck. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't really know what the theme of it was. and I kind of like the way it's kind of turned into a small business spotlight type thing, which is cool. And yeah, first impression, like, good luck, guys.
Yeah. Like, so we kind of like we're bouncing around what we should do.
Yeah, we didn't really know. I mean, that was the thing. It was like we just knew that like we have good banter, like as a group. You know what I mean? And he fits in really well, and you know, obviously, Abe, we talk to you a lot, and you fit in well as too. And so it's like we have pretty good banter, and we'll sit here and we'll laugh at ourselves. You know, and like he'll come and he'll laugh, and the people in the room will be listening to our conversation. They'll be laughing, and they'll jump in the conversation. And so it's like we obviously have, you know, conversations to be had. So like, well, why wouldn't we share that with the world? Right. You know,
of course, sure, yes.
And only that, he said, small.
Well, it could be more narcissistic than, let's say, hey, we're pretty good. We'll share that with the world.
Yeah, that's me for sure. I own it.
My buddy Rob and I could probably publish our 700,000 text messages we've had with each other and make one hell of a book. We might end up in jail, but it'd be one hell of a book. Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Royalties while you're sitting there with your commissary.
That's fine.
Yeah, you live in large, dude.
Make a pasta out of ramen.
Yeah, well, he'll get the hashish and he'll like put it on the paper. And then, like we'll try to get a cigar in there somehow, and you'll be all right, man. We'll take care of you. No, and so we had that first podcast, and it was like I remember the thing that I remember was like you were like, that was actually a good time. You know?
Had fun.
Yeah. We had a good time.
Totally had fun. I was super jealous and bitter sitting in my office during the second one, not being involved.
Yeah, and so that's again, it shows a lot of your character where it's like you allow us to do that, and obviously, you know, ours as well, where we'll always figure out a way to you know make it happen. So,
sure.
And so. The next question I have for you is like kind of a big one. It's a topic that's been kind of like running through the country, and it's still a huge problem, and that's the opioid epidemic. And so like, you know, everybody has been affected by the opioid epidemic, you know, and not to be or dark or narcissistic toward the topic, but like, at the end of the day, the opioid epidemic has affected your business in like a beneficial way, you know, and it's not a bad thing because you're helping them.
It's the honest truth. We're in the field where, you know, I hate to admit it, but, you know, for me to make a living, people need to be sick, right? And it's almost like the opposite of what you'd want to see with people. You know, everybody wants to see be in good health, and that's what we want for everybody. But unfortunately, there's a need. And, you know, the way that we see it from our standpoint, at least, with Sylvania Family Pharmacy, in a sense, is what can we do to prevent somebody from, you know, not basically killing themselves, right? You know, the opioid epidemic, and it's a dark cycle, man. It's, I mean, you guys have been through part of it, whether, you know, not just even saying about opiates in general, but just addiction in general, whether it's the nicotine or, like, you know, Chris was saying, it's like substituting one thing with another. It's not an easy thing to do. So from sometimes, like, you have to kind of like think about it. You're going to prevent harm, right? You're going to try to, instead of somebody killing themselves, or whether it's fentanyl or whatever it is, the medication or the, you know, the opiate that they're using, we're trying to substitute that with something that's at least not going to cause that overdose or that cause them to go into the hospital, where that's where the bills come from, right? You know, when we think about the opiate epidemic, it's a trickle effect, right? It's just going from one thing to another. And a lot of times we don't think about like the little things that happen right there and then. It's more of like, what's the ultimate goal, right? You know, some people, we don't tell you, hey, somebody who's addicted to, I'll give the example of alcohol, for example, right? You know, somebody that's drinking 6-7 times a day, you know, a week, you know, maybe their goal is to not become fully abstinent, right? You know, their goal is to maybe cut it down to social or to twice a week.
We've seen that a lot.
You know,
I tried that.
That's a positive. I mean, yeah, but that's a move in the positive direction, right? That's how, from us, that's how we see it. We want to try to evaluate all the sides to every story and kind of put a path towards, you know, what we call recovery, right? And you guys might disagree with everything that I'm saying, or some of the things that I'm saying. Not everybody's journey is the same, right?
Yeah, the truth is, though, is like you're the neutral party. Like, so you're Switzerland. Completely. You know what I mean? Like, you're Switzerland, and so. And
I mean, we in a sense, we've kind of put, a dent in that, or we've caused some of the a good part of the opiate epidemic from the healthcare system, right? Doctors overprescribing, or drug companies kind of giving this misleading, and I say quote unquote misleading effects of what these medications are going to do. This is kind of, we talk about OxyContin is one of the biggest ones out there. That kind of led to this opiate epidemic, as they came out advertising that this is non-addicting, that this is, nobody's going to be able to overdose on this because of the formulation and how they're making it. And, they were promoting it to doctors, and doctors were thinking that this is the safe bet for everybody. Or, the way that the industry is, healthcare have changed into more of almost like a service industry. Like, you go to a doctor and as a doctor, you get paid not for treating the disease, but almost how does that patient feel after they left from you. Like,
Correct.
it's almost like a scale.
Yeah.
Did this doctor, do you feel like you got valued by this doctor? Or did you feel that this doctor did their job, or whatever?
Back to culture.
And now the doctor is kind of forced in a way that they just want to make sure that this patient is happy.
They're getting likes.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the likes situation, not necessarily here to target the issue. We talk about culture. You want to tell me there's no other place in the world that doesn't have pain? Everybody here in America, for some reason, has pain. And you see doctors left and right. Oxycodone, Norco, pain medication, left and right. Everybody in the world has problems too.
I go there, they're like, you're lucky to get Tylenol, sir.
I mean, I'm just saying, other people around the world have pain too, or they go through accidents, or they go through gun wounds, or whatever it is. Why don't you see this issue arise so much? The U.S. alone has over 90% of all the opiates, in a sense. Why do you see that?
That gets into a good topic, which is from your standpoint of culture and and ethnicity.
You don't see that. We don't. You tell me go back home to Lebanon. Tell them Percocet. They'll tell you, huh? They'll look at you like, what is this? They don't know what it is.
Because we consume. What is it? I think it's 95% of all drugs, and we only produce 3% or something.
Yeah.
And so all of the drugs that are being produced are coming here to America because of the culture that we have here, which is very greedy, and self pity is a huge.
Just we
rampant.
think about ourselves, and
sure.
that we are the only ones that have a problem. That we want a pill for everything. I hate it. I hate it. I'm a pharmacist. I make my living by giving people pills, and I hate pills. I hate taking anything. If I'm sick, I'm trying every single thing in the world. If I have a headache, I'm trying to drink water, shower, hot showers, sit in a tub, do whatever, massage, something before I even go towards taking pills.
I'm at that now in my sobriety now.
You don't see it, man. You don't see it.
Really
there's so much other things that you can do to treat your problems.
If there was one pill, so let's say if the multitude of ideas or diseases or cures or sicknesses, if there was one pill that you could sell and that was it, that was one pill that would fix more problems.
I'll be dead, man.
No, I'm just saying of the ones that you have, that you have. So I'm saying, if it's ibuprofen or if it's Claritin, whatever, what would be one pill that you would say that fixes a multitude of things that most people wouldn't know about?
I mean, the biggest things that you normally see is, pain medications, Tylenol, the simple stuff that you go see, over the counter, Tylenol, ibuprofen, stuff like that. Aleve, stuff like that.
Opposite of that. What I'm saying is from the pharmacy standpoint.
Yeah, prescribed medication.
Yeah, if it's a cholesterol pill that we didn't know that fixes heart disease.
It's tough to pinpoint it because it all ties into the geographical area and the population demographics. I'm talking big words here, not trying to be smart or anything like that. But you go to certain areas, man, and thank you.
In the Fuente cup? Oh man, that's
for guests, not customers.
Yeah.
Hey, for non-quitters.
Non-quitters. It's very racial right there. It's a racial statement we just had. Yeah, we're discriminated against.
But back to what I'm saying, it's tough to really think about it because, you're obviously you go to an area where you have low income, for example, you'll see a lot of people that are obese, because
heart
problems or cholesterol or whatever, because food insecurity, because they're fighting for what they can, every dollar that they can make, they're gonna try to pay the bills than to think about what they're going to eat, right? So they end up eating junk, and the world doesn't help, man.
It's sad.
You look at the cost of food and everything. It's tough. So realistically speaking, what I'm trying to get to is, you go to certain areas like that, you'll see more like heart problems, diabetes. So medications will be tailored more towards that, right? You go to other areas where, let's say you're high in the mountains, no cars, no mobility. People walk more. High oxygen level, like in Denver. You'll see there's a big difference between how many people have heart problems or lung problems over there because of the oxygen, because of the lifestyle.
Cars. For sure.
They play a big difference. I mean, look at us now, man. You see people that are older, generations. People used to live till like they're 100, 105. 96, and they're still walking. They're still doing, they're still driving. I see a guy the other day, 87 years old. He's still doing the whole, mulching and everything on their backyard. And I'm like, I'm here 30 years old. I don't even want to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna pay somebody.
I'll start losing my breath if I go up the stairs. So it's
because you don't live in Denver.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But there's not really one pill. I'm not going to name one because realistically speaking, there's nothing that I can really tie it down to. But realistically, you think about more of tied to like the marketing, right? Sure. These drug companies, man, they do not.
Tough topic. And before I ask you the tough topic, I want you to take a sip of that coffee so you can see what we got going on here. So. And
famous.
Yeah, the famous coffee, the famous Colombian coffee here at Black Rose. Come here and get a cigar and some Colombian coffee.
That's good. So this is very close to like what Turkish coffee is. A little sweet, but
it's a little sweet. And honestly, it's probably a little less sweet than it should.
Yeah,
like the Cubans in Miami.
No, but this is literally what the Turkish coffee like almost tastes like. It's
it's
shot
good.
Of espresso.
Yeah.
It is a little sweet. You won't get that little foam on the top. In Spanish is esponita. You won't get that if you don't put enough sugar in.
Gotcha. So the sugar is what makes this.
Yeah, you put the sugar in first, and then a little bit of the first pressing. It's very similar in Italy too, but a little bit of the first pull of the espresso in there, and you whip it. You add a little bit more, and you whip it.
I might start coming here just for this, man.
Honestly,
it's really freaking good.
Everyone but Dylan can make it proper.
I heard him tonight. You're saying, "Can you make me coffee with foam?" He's like, Poor Dylan's like, And they're like, "No, you're."
But you can customize this, right? Like you can do less sugar.
I can do less sugar. It just might not have as much foam, and I can
just
do it
personally.
And I can do it straight up. Like I can just pull you a really nice espresso shot. We use Cafe Bustelo, which is a Cuban style espresso coffee.
This is good. It's one of the best, better coffees that I've had. I'm not gonna lie, very smooth too, though.
Yeah,
it's good.
It goes down quick, and in about 20 minutes you'll be like, all right,
let's go. I'll tell you one thing. Once I drink coffee, I start getting, pit state.
Yeah.
I start sweating. So you'll see, my forehead.
Good for your
camera guy. If you get
good for your metabolism.
Make sure you make me look good. But
it's also in a Fuente cup, so it's got to taste better because Fuente is
Fuente's a very good cigar maker. Yeah, somebody doesn't smoke cigars.
Yeah. So ready for the tough topic? You don't have to answer the question. You don't if you don't want to.
No, absolutely. I just it's one of those. It's not. I wouldn't even consider it a tough topic.
No, that's not the question though. The question is this: you were talking about the obesity and the food and the dieting here in America. Like, what's your thoughts on Ozempic?
Definitely not used for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because it's not for that. Originally, it was not.
It's not for that. I mean, there is different formulations that does help. A lot of medicine is, believe it or not, a trial and error. So could it actually help with you losing weight? Absolutely. That's the makeup of how the drug actually worked. It's not intended for that. Believe it or not, you ask any nutritionist, any doctor, for any medical, reason, not just Ozempic, the first thing they tell you is lifestyle changes. If you go, in medicine, we go to school for 6 years, every single disease state that we go over, the first treatment is lifestyle changes. And then they go into, medicine. And believe it or not, surgery is the last thing that we even think about, even though it's technically the most permanent, if you want to call it permanent solution, right? But Ozempic, does it help? Sure. Is it for everybody? No. Unfortunately, back to the same question that we were talking about.
Would you let your newborn daughter, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And would you let her do Ozempic?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. And so
I
that's
don't,
the statement.
you know,
The pharmacist says it.
yeah.
You know.
Well,
We-
the whole,
I
your
don't.
whole
It's more of like the tide of, again, it's made for diabetes, right? There's the different formulations made to help you lose weight. People take it and then they go binge eat. Like that's not gonna help you.
Right.
So you're gonna lose some weight in the beginning, but it's kind of the idea behind it, and it's not for everybody, by the way. You know, it does help you lose weight. Don't get me wrong, but you have to couple it with lifestyle changes for you to see those permanent effects.
Well, a friend of mine, he does it. He lost a lot of weight,
Yeah.
and he looks good for sure.
Yeah.
And but he's not hungry when he
Yeah,
with
I
his
mean,
he won't eat at
That's
all.
that's the job of that medicine. Is to kind of block your appetite. But for somebody who's 300, 400 pounds, they're at bigger risks than their weight, right? You know, their weight and their
It's their lifestyle. Yeah.
you have the risk of heart disease, you know, strokes, all that stuff that is going to come through from being overweight. So
Diabetes,
yes,
yeah.
when you tell when a doctor sees that person and they tell you, okay, I'm going to give you Ozempic to help you lose weight, it's to kind of cut down on the risk of you know, you having a heart attack or you having a stroke. You know, it's what we call some of those are like silent killers, right? You know, you want to be able to target them and, you know, limit them as much as possible to prevent that. So it's a risk versus benefit. So, but
So it's like a byproduct of living a better lifestyle. You'll lose weight.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but then you see somebody who's trying to lose like 5-6 pounds, and you know they look at tip-top shape, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on Ozempic." Like, no, that's not what it's made for.
Turn yourself into a diabetic.
Well, it's hard for people that actually need it then, because my uncle was prescribed
Yeah, and
in
it costs.
Texas.
It's a shortage.
He had to go to Oklahoma. to
I
get it.
remember that.
Yeah, I
And you-
called you when I was in
yeah.
Texas. My uncle couldn't get it. He needs it because he needed it, and they like, no, he couldn't get it.
Yeah, it caused a shortage because people were using it for the wrong reasons, and then you start seeing the price gouging of, you know, medications and everything like that.
So your whole industry is a lot of it is based around secondary off-label uses.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just think of the famous ones, Viagra.
Yeah,
Right.
You
that
know,
was started off as a
cardio-
medication for
heart medication, and it was a side effect thing. Oh shit! Look what that does as a side effect. But that's and so many things. Like there's a cancer drug called Avastin that my father, who is an ophthalmologist, discovered. Like this reverses macular degeneration. And then the drug company
Wait. Say that again. What does it do?
it would slow down and sometimes reverse macular degeneration.
So what is that? For somebody who doesn't know.
macular. You said macular,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming it's something related to the eyes.
Yeah, no, it's
so
definitely a degenerative eye disease type thing. And he did a trial with it, and he started seeing results. And like the drug company shut that shit down and fought him and said, "Hey, listen, like, because Avastin's given in a bag like this for cancer, and in the eye it was like nanoliters, and so like you could get like $20 doses, and the cancer dose is like $20,000."
Right.
And so then they eventually came out with it again and go, "Oh, well, we'll just repackage this and reprice it."
Drug companies and the FDA and all that stuff, man. You know, we come and talk about the cost of healthcare.
Yeah.
For being one of the most advanced countries in the world, you have shitty healthcare, man. Like
You know the percentage of drugs the FDA approves that are recalled within the first 5 years?
I don't know the actual percentage, but it's a lot.
It's 90.
Yeah, it's
They
a
are
lot.
10% good at their job.
Holy shit.
What?
Yeah.
That's like if we killed like 90% of our
Right.
patients.
Yeah.
They said 10% made it.
Yep. It's sickening. And then you couple the cost of it. You know, this is something that we always talk about with, you know, family and stuff like that. They'll call me, they'll ask me, you know, "Hey, can you get this medication over here?" You know, because we're paying like what, $20, $30 for it back home. I'm like, yeah, you better off keep getting it down there. If I tell you the cost of it here, you're gonna freak out because they have to go through the FDA and all that stuff. The cost of the medication to make it is nothing. But because they have to abide with all the rules of the FDA and all those rigorous approvals and, you know, all that stuff that needs to happen before they can even sell it, they have to gauge that, you know, that price all the way up so that they can make back all the money that they spent on this whole 20 years of prototyping in a
R&D,
sense,
yeah.
R&D.
Yeah. So I heard something, and like you probably might have an answer, and Chris is very, very seasoned and has a lot of knowledge as well. But like, is it true that, let's say, if I were to get a lemon, and a lemon would cure something inside of me, that it would no longer be a lemon, and the FDA would take control of it, and they would call it a drug.
No. So any company that wants to advertise that a medication is going to do something here in the U.S., at least with the FDA, it needs to be, they have to do all these research and studies, and they need to be able to prove it first on whether it's animals or whatever.
Well, I'm saying if it did though,
Molecular.
it's proved, it's said and done. It's lemons. Is it no longer lemons? Is it now FDA?
I mean, they'll control it in a sense, depending on if it's going to cause harm if used inappropriately.
Yeah,
That's realistically what you're thinking about. If it's something that's if you take it the wrong way, is it going to cause harm? Then they're going to tighten and control it, right? That's how medications usually work. So why do you see some medications that are what we call over the counter? Is because the risk of damage that they can do if used inappropriately is significantly less compared to other medications that you need a prescription for.
It's wild.
You go back home, like for example, like just speaking of the Viagra situation, here in the U.S. you need a prescription for it. Why? Because somebody with heart disease or certain issues with their heart, if they take Viagra, it could cause a heart attack, and they're going to end up in the hospital. But you go overseas, back home, whether in Mexico or whatever. How many times have you been to Mexico and you just been into a pharmacy and you see it you basically tell the guy, hey, can I have a box of Viagra? And they just give it to you. They just sell it to you. You don't need a prescription for it.
What pharmacy is that?
In Mexico.
In Mexico, anywhere. And it's the same medication. It's the same medication.
Yeah.
But it's because of the tight control that the FDA has over here that, this medication can cause serious harm. So we're going to lock it up and make it a prescription.
Well, there's a bunch of I've
It
seen.
all really boils down to the lawyers.
I was gonna say too. I've seen people take busloads of people to Mexico to get their prescriptions because they're cheaper.
Yeah.
And try not to get caught.
Canada, we're close. There's a lot. Some doctors, when we're having shortages during COVID and whatnot, when they needed medicine and it's medicine that's not available here, people were just going to Canada or asking any relatives or anybody that just, hey, can we just buy it?
I'd be fucked. I'm not allowed over there, so.
Nope.
They'd be like, dude, not allowed in.
Yep. At the border. Nah.
Yeah.
This is great. Thank you.
You're way too
Yeah,
American.
welcome.
That's what they told me.
Way too American. Yeah, you're way too much of a quitter. No, he's too much of a quitter.
Too
Don't
much
let
of
him
a
here.
quitter. You can't let him in.
Don't let him in. He's a quitter.
And so I want to switch gears just a little bit here, and I'm gonna ask Chris this question, and we'll kind of all go around and we'll answer the question. And Chris, what is like the most ridiculous hill that like you'll die on? Like, I'm not putting pineapple on pizza. Like, I don't, I don't take my socks off at night. Like, whatever it is, like, what is your thing that's ridiculous, that like a hill that you'll die on?
That's a good question, TJ.
Makes you think.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm not the one answering it first. So
Yeah,
gives
no
me
worries.
gives me some of that.
No surprise. It's going to be food based, and it's a toss up between two. I will die on the beans don't belong in chili.
They do belong in Chile.
They don't. I'll tell you why they don't. I'll tell you why they don't. I'll tell
Guilty
you-
as charged.
We'll go to the source. It was invented by cattle ranchers in Texas. Cattle ranchers in Texas couldn't carry beans with them because it was too heavy. They cooked with what they had. Spices and seasonings were light, and they used whatever meat they could find. It was introduced into Chile during the Depression because they needed a filler, and beans were cheap.
History class.
So
I'm telling you, he's
Doesn't
got a
belong.
wealth of knowledge, dude.
doesn't belong. in
So
chili.
when you make chili, you just put multiple types of meat in your chili with like a red sauce base.
I bet it's fire.
Yes.
I bet
It's
it's
the best
phenomenal.
you've ever had.
I was gonna say we have.
I don't like
again, we're-
beans
we're
in
ha-
mine either. So
Good. And the second thing, culinarily based, is honestly, if you have to pickle it, we shouldn't be eating it. Case in point, olives. Olives are relatively poisonous before they're cured. So the first idiot who ate those off the tree and was, let me see if I can just ferment this in vinegar for 3 months and make it edible. If you have to ferment something in vinegar for that long, you shouldn't be eating it.
So you don't like pickles?
Nope.
I hate pickles too, by the way.
I love pickles.
Pickles, olives,
Sorry.
capers,
Hate them all.
silly.
Hate them all.
no banana peppers.
No, it's
See,
It's a fine line. I don't know if it's really pickle, but yes. I don't like banana peppers, but I'll use jalapenos in my
I prefer fresh jalapenos.
and
Nachos.
chipotle
or-
peppers
Yeah.
also, which is kind of
Yeah.
technically pickle.
Yeah.
But definitely beans and chili. That's a hill I'll die on. I'll fight you. My friends affectionately call my food aversions something to the effect of that I don't like peasant food.
Do you don't like lobster?
Honestly, there's another hill we can die on: lobster, shellfish in general, prisoner food.
It was.
It was
originally.
prisoner food.
It was.
It was bycatch. It was thrown away, and then somebody had a genius idea to market it to rich people, and now it's a delicacy.
Power of marketing.
Yeah, same with diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds for sure. Yeah, I do
So
know that.
I guess at the end of the day, just I am a fan of. I'm not a fan of the over marketed. You can't market it.
Do you buy birthday cards?
Do I buy birthday cards? No, I call people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things, like
Cards
birthday cards
are-
in
oh
general,
my
like
gosh,
Hallmark and
man.
all that. Like it's like
$5 for literally
too much.
5
Yeah.
seconds, and you throw it away.
Yeah.
I tried to get a really cool job out of college. So one of my minors was in anthropology, is in cultural anthropology, and I saw a listing for a job for Hallmark. It was just the guy's job was literally to go to parties and observe what people do at parties. And it was so they could come up with greeting card ideas. The hallmark behind anthropology is like a holistic view, taking everything in from a culture and whatever. And so they were literally hiring anthropologists to go to parties. I was like, what a great job.
Give me a Hallmark card right now, quote.
I couldn't.
And go.
I couldn't.
You could.
I
I know you could. But think about it, we'll go back to you.
I guess.
Yeah, I know you'll have a good one for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Are you the one that came up with happy birthday?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was me.
At a party.
Yeah, at a party.
They were
Yeah.
all smiling, laughing. Happy birthday.
I mean, so like the reason I know you'd be good at that is this. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of
It's a
like
simple
the value.
gesture of like
Yeah.
kindness. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What is that? What's the hill that you die at, Josh?
Oh man, hill that I'll die on. I am gonna go a little bit of foodie too. I'm a preferred person of filet. I don't like strips and I don't like ribeyes. They're too fatty for me. That's a big thing. I'd rather have a filet.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Yeah, I'm a big filet guy when it comes to food. I die on that hill anytime people go like, "Oh, the ribeye is so great, the cab, this, that," about steaks and New York strips. To me, I'm a 100% a filet guy, all through thick and thin. I use it for everything.
Eats a burger with no bread.
Yeah, I eat burgers with no buns because I'm weird about my health right now. It's a big thing when it comes to that. Like if I want a couple French fries, I get rid of the bun.
You're
Well,
like
the
my
flour
wife,
in this
man.
country is fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flour's ruined us. Like literally,
Yeah.
that's a part of the whole culture.
We were
Bleach,
actually just talking about
enriched,
this.
bleach enriched, all that
We
stuff.
were literally talking about this
It's
in
no
my
longer-
little
it's not
friend
even
group.
the-
Like we
the-
go back home, and all we want to eat is like the pies and the bread and everything
Because it's made right.
You don't feel bloated, man. You eat a piece of bread over here, and then you just feel like, man, you're dragging along, just walking around, tired, and you eat bread over there, and it's like you just don't feel.
It's
like
not even the
anything.
processing anymore. We've literally just killed the natural makeup
Everything,
of the grains.
everything, dude. I eat
The seeds were growing from the beginning.
We eat
Are fucked.
vegetables at home and like fruits and just like we grew up eating like that. My dad would not sit on the table to eat lunch if there's not just a plate full of like lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, even if it doesn't belong to what you're eating, right? But he just likes to have it there and then eat from it, right? So it's we grew up eating that. Like that's part of who we are. That's part of what we like with our food. Here, man, you eat salads and you still get fat.
Oh, there's a fantastic show on Apple TV. It's called Omnivore. It's 6 episodes, I believe. Each episode's a different food, and it's the history of how that food shaped the world. It's incredible. It's rice, it's bananas, it's a couple other corn. And just to see what food was before we ruined it is just crazy.
Yeah.
Totally.
One food that you could eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pizza.
Pizza. That's a lot of foods on the pizza. One pizza, one kind of pizza.
Sausage pizza.
Sausage pizza.
Good sausage pizza too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sausage.
What about you?
Food?
Yep.
I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I like food a lot.
I do too, but I'll eat pizza all day,
It's
every day.
tough, man. But believe it or not, I like you know what manaisha is, right? Basically, the Arabic version of pizza.
Oh, yeah.
It's like on pita?
No, it's kind of like a thin crust pizza.
Okay.
But the bread is like the breading is usually more floury. It's very light. I love that thing with cheese, man. Just plain old cheese, nothing on it, nothing more. Just eat that stuff with a tomato or a cucumber next to it.
A very similar version of
Every day. We were in Lebanon for 2
Side
weeks. Me and my wife, 2 weeks. Every single morning, that's all we ate. Every single morning.
What about you?
Favorite food?
And one thing.
One thing the rest of my life, probably
Yeah.
venison backstraps.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what that is.
They're so good.
You've never had venison?
No.
Well, venison's deer,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I know that, but I've never had it.
so good.
Yeah.
I have
it's-
some wild boar back straps at home right now.
Yeah,
I love-
it's an acquired taste. The
Very
backstrap
gamey,
is
probably.
the best part.
Is it
Yeah.
gamey?
Yeah,
You get used to
it's
it,
kind of
yeah.
sweet. Like so, the steak it's there. It's just kind of like a sweet flavor. It's not like a
I
cow.
wouldn't
It's-
necessarily call it sweet, but it's definitely an acquired taste, and it's all about seasoning of it and cooking.
Okay.
You have to eat it medium rare.
Anything that you have to put a bunch of seasoning on, I don't. You
Got a
know, we
bunch of
don't need it.
seasoning. You just
It's
gotta
like when you pickle
Seasoning
an
is
olive.
good, man.
It's
You
like
can't like,
it's like you
like
pickle
I
my-
like to season a lot.
Some people just, for example, tell me like, "Oh, I don't eat like onions." I'm like, "How can you cook? Like, you can't cook without onions or
I
garlic."
love onions.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's you're a
It's like the
chef yourself. You
staples.
know, if you don't have those in food, like your food has no flavor.
Or just like
I
a soup
agree.
without a mirepoix.
Or just putting a chicken. Like I've,
what
I've
is
seen
it?
people grill
Mirepoix.
chicken without putting
A
anything on it.
miracle. I can't even say that.
It's the French version of it. I mean, there's
Celery,
the holy
Is it
carrot,
lentil?
There's the Trinity. There's the Mirepoix. One has carrots. One doesn't.
Yeah.
What's the hill you're dying on?
Are we just sticking to food, or are we just
No,
Whatever,
no,
no.
whatever.
anywhere else? So.
Yeah.
I guess if you really want to think about it, I hate fake people, man. I can't like
Ooh.
I can't do it. Like I cannot. I'm a very upfront person. Like don't get me wrong. I won't say I won't lie or I won't, cheat here and there. But if your intentions are clean, unfortunately, our world these days, it's very tough, man. You can spot. I've had that ability to be able to tell if somebody is just, kind of in your face, all happy and whatnot. and
Dressing
then-
it up all the time.
yeah, and then you turn around and it's like a different person. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm not going to talk to that person, but I can't stand it. Like it blows my mind when I'm sitting with somebody. Let's say I'm sitting with you right now and then you're, all lovey-dovey with Chris and Josh, and then they leave from here and you're sitting here with another Josh, and then you're saying, oh, the other day this guy was doing this, blah, 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 blah. Like that just pisses me off. Gossip and in general, like I get involved in it. I listen to it, but I just don't get like in it. And it
tells you a lot about a person.
Yeah,
it drives me insane. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily that they're bad people, right? Don't get me wrong. Like the fact that they're doing it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just, it gets under my skin. I'm like, leave those people alone. They're
Or let them be in the room to defend themselves.
just in general. Like
Being a man of
those
character,
people
yeah.
just kind of tick me off. Like I'm like, I just want to, just choke them or something. That's part of the things that I just can't stand about people. Like if you're just one of those people that just goes from here to here to just, whether saying stuff or carrying, what this person said and kind of like twisting it around and saying it to somebody else and playing both sides, like that I can't stand
Drama.
that. Like I'd rather you be upfront with me and tell me like, hey, Abe, I don't fucking like you, than you like smile in my face and do all that stuff and then go stab me in some other way,
Yeah, I'm very much that person. Like
Yeah.
I'm
You
upfront,
are.
transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna know how I feel all the time, and so
You-
I
you-
feel that I'm the same way with that when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest things for me, like in general, that I like honesty, even if it's gonna hurt.
Transparency.
You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
the thing is like if you're not honest with somebody, what you're doing is you're robbing them the ability to
but
make a choice.
If people take that word very lightly and then they don't like the true meaning behind it. Sometimes honesty is not just about, saying what's truthful, right? It's more about, watching out about their feelings, their actions, etc. To me, it's more of like, I'd rather get the hard, cold, damn truth. Like, whether it's things that I like, whether it's to hurt somebody's feelings or not, I'd rather hurt their feelings with saying the truth than sugarcoating it and then them get hurt later on from the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just pull the Band-Aid off and just straight shooter.
Shoot 'em straight, man.
Yeah, shoot it straight. And I'm gonna be very, very cliche in the business that I'm in, and the hill that I stand on, and as a personal belief, is that like in order to really, really get sobriety and really have recovery, like no mood or mind altering substances at all. Period. And I think that there's like there's a culture of an idea of like a better quality of life is not the same thing as like being a person that's in sobriety. You know what I mean? And so like I'm saying that I work in a business where we offer a better quality of life, and I'm not saying that there's not a need for that, because there is. If the option for you is shooting heroin or taking methadone, please take the methadone. You know what I mean? Like if you're not ready to completely stop and you're not there yet, I would rather you take the methadone, because I was at that person at one time, than to shoot heroin and die. You know, if at the time you know Suboxone's an option for you and it gives you a better quality of life, and like you go back to work and you take care of your family and you build the trust back, and like that's what it is.
I have that argument with my fellow pharmacists all the time, all the freaking time. They say how Suboxone is one of those medications that, you know, is so highly abused in a different way than in what it was intended for, and the proper way of using Suboxone, like, you know, to get off opiates in a sense. But, you know, they all say, oh, well, all it did is just what you said, take away the opiate, put in another medication instead of it. Well, I see it in a way where this person now at least can function. You know, this person might have a less risk of an overdose.
They have a job.
There's a lot of studies behind it.
And then at the end, they're gonna be at a time where they're gonna be like, okay, now the proper treatment can now be targeted after they've.
Well, you can give them a little bit of clarity. They can start to see some normalization in life and those kinds of things. And a really, really cool. At one point, I heard about this, and I think it's in British Columbia or somewhere up in Canada, where they're doing HAT, which is heroin assisted treatment. And so they have a 98% retention rate, which is insane for treatment. Like people else in treatment, it's like if you get 10%, you're killing it, right? So like it's a 98% chance that the people that come into the program are going to stay in the program. They're going to do well, and they're going to be there. And so they did it in a small pocket of an area, and it was about 200 heroin addicts that would come there. And what would happen is they would come there and they would give them. It was like pharmacy grade heroin. Mm-hmm. The nurse would know by your body weight, your mass, your habit, and like whatever it is, and they would give you a number. That was your number, and that was your number of how much you could take without the chance of overdose. But you'd be sitting there with them. They would actually be there with you. They would do it for you, I believe, or you could do it yourself, I think. Yeah. And then you'd go about your day. And it was like 80% of all people that were in that program got back to normal life. They got jobs. Yeah. They stopped stealing. Crime rate went down 200%. Like it was like this huge thing. And so like, you know, and so I remember myself, and I'm like trying to get sober. Like, damn, I gotta need to move to Canada. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that sounds like a really cool idea. But like what that says is, I
mean, it's like meth. Meth first came out to help people, you know, stay up at war and, you know, all that stuff. And it just, then you realize kind of like what the effects of what these medications can bring if they're used for the wrong reasons, right?
Absolutely. You
can literally even, like, I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm sorry if I make you feel stupid or anything like that, but cocaine is used in the hospitals. Like, hospitals use cocaine as part of for like surgeries and stuff like that.
Coca-Cola had cocaine in it at one time.
I mean, it's just, you know, if it's used for the right reasons and it's used properly, everything is a medication, or everything is a drug, or everything is kind of has like this health benefit. You know, it's
in moderation,
moderation. It's just more, you got to know what you're using it correctly.
Yeah, if I could control cocaine, I wouldn't be here. You know, and so I'm still living my best life, and like, you know, maybe working in some plant and like working
still stripping.
Still stripping.
There you go.
Yeah, Jace would still be on stage.
Jace is stage.
Next on stage.
Is that your stage name?
Yeah, next on stage is going to be Jace. And I'll tell you, if I ever get an email and it says from Jace, that's gonna be me, and I can't change my email. Unfortunately, so God reminds me of that all the time. You know,
you need a bumper sticker and putting it on your car and not telling you.
Yeah, Jace.
It says honk for Jace.
Yeah, next on stage. You know, but back to what I was talking about, and so like that's the hill that I'm gonna die on, like my personal belief in my friend group, in the people that I surround myself with. If somebody were to come to me on my own, outside of treatment, not in housing, not in none of that, they're a person in recovery, and they ask me, what is the single most thing that contributed to you getting sober? I would say getting sober. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Fully. You know, and that's it. And so like, there's no other situation in life
you have to want it.
For sure, but like, think about it like this. It's like,
not just want it, but you have to be ready. Like, you have to be ready to go through the journey, right? It's like when your time is there, when your time is up, in a sense, like, when you are ready, you're the only person that's going to be able to change that.
Well, shit, I was ready 100 times, but like the thing is, it's like, what other situation in life do we say, okay, the problem is that and the big boy talks about jaywalking, right? So it's like, but we jaywalk and we get hit by a car, we're like, oh, that's bad, you know what I mean? So like I'm gonna like kind of jaywalk, you know what I mean? Like I'm only gonna jaywalk on Tuesdays, like, and so like in that respect, like that's what it is. Like, so what other situation in life is the problem the solution? None, right? Never is the problem going to be the solution. So like, if I'm saying that minor mood altering substances is my problem that causes my life harm and gives me bad situations and consequences and affects my life, how is another minor mood altering substance going to be the solution to a minor mood altering substance? And so like it doesn't equate, right? Like there's no equation there. So but we look at it that way because back to the culture of the United States is like we're fucking very weak, we're very selfish, and we have a lot of self-pity, and it's like, well, I don't know how to be sober solely, so give me something that I can pretend to be sober on and I'll be okay with. Cigars.
Medication assisted programs, Suboxone.
No, yeah, for sure.
Or what do they call California sober now?
Yeah.
Show your chip for 10% off.
Yeah. And
Black
so,
Rose cigar.
but it wasn't until like I quit doing drugs that I quit doing drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, but that's what offered me my life. And so like, if you ask me what I think that like the most important thing to do is like, first and foremost, let's stop using drugs. Yeah. Then let's look at what is the reason why you think drugs is a solution to the problem when it's actually contributing to the problem.
100%.
Yeah. And if you can ever say that it's not, then maybe you're not one of us. But like for us, like it was the cause and effect of most things.
Yeah. I had to recognize that eventually in my journey of being on medications, and I realized I couldn't. Yeah. It was just causing me to keep going back some way, some shape or form.
Yeah, but serious question now. Like you guys been on the other side, right? Like I always try to explain it to, because I got students all the time that come to, the pharmacy that, are going to be future pharmacists. They're coming to learn from me, shadow me, et cetera. And, from the niche of what we do and work with, people in recovery or, detox facilities, et cetera. I always try to tell them, like, nobody woke up and decided to be an addict, right? Like whether it's the pills, whether it's the alcohol, whether it's whatever it is, these people did not just wake up one day and be like, hey, today I want to be an addict, right? I want to do drugs or I want to be addicted to drugs. There's some kind of reason in the back of whether their mind or their bodies or whatever that caused them to get that way. Mm-hmm. So why are we here to judge that, right? You're talking about like, you're the solution to your own problem, right? But, not everybody has that willpower involuntarily because they got thrown in a situation that, whether it's they had surgery and doctor prescribed pain pills and little did they know that this person has an addictive personality and then, got hooked on it. And then one thing led to another, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
And, the other vice versa, you have the other people that, were partying in college and, drinking all the time. And then next thing you know, they're 30, 40 years old and still doing the same thing and drinking.
Full-blown alcoholics.
Full-blown, right?
Yeah, sure.
I look at my life, man, and I'm not, I wouldn't say I regret it, but I'm glad, like, you offered me a drink when I came in and I was like, I don't have any background of whatsoever, but, when I was in college, I was partying 3-4 days a week. And now I look back and I don't have any of those cravings. I don't even crave a glass of whiskey or anything like that, even though I don't characterize myself as like I was a person that faced addiction in a sense, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I just willingly chose, hey, like this is not for me, or I don't want to do this anymore. And just...
What's your take, Chris? Like, do you have a take?
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I have so many takes on this and we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Another episode we'll talk about this.
Yeah, no. I just philosophically I think that your guys' world is very interesting because at what point
you call yourself like, hey, I became this.
Yeah, but what defines it? At what point is there a definition? The medical community's definition of alcoholism is just stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I am 100% an alcoholic based on that. At what point is it when it affects your personal life? You're living normal. I mean, that's got to be the line that you guys usually fall on.
And to each is different.
And to each is different.
Yes.
But let me pose a question or a hypothetical. Like, you got a guy on heroin, and he comes to you and he's ready and he's put in the work and he's gonna quit. He's gonna do the counseling. He's gonna do all the things he needs to do. But there's just no fixing a certain personal demon or two.
Correct.
And he has no problem functioning in regular life with marijuana recreationally at home before bed. It quiets the voices in his head or whatever it is. How is that not okay?
Correct. I agree with that.
It doesn't happen often. That's the truth. So
Sure.
we hear stories of that. And so like what you'll get is like the very few and far between, because we run into it a lot. So like I would say in my history in the field, I've probably ran across 5,000 clients, I want to say, all the way around. And of those 5,000 clients, like the people who were able to be successfully just drink or just smoke weed is probably not even 1%. Not even 1%.
But you guys, and I don't want you to take this wrong at all, because I certainly believe in what you guys do, and it's very admirable and very needed in almost all the communities. But like the psychology behind at least AA, and I don't know much about NA or any of the other substances, but like we're replacing one addiction for another, and that other addiction is talking, therapy, meetings, routines. Routines are addictions, and you're giving them something else to be addicted to, and it's just not a substance.
Yeah, but risk versus benefit, right?
Sure.
You know, you're talking about something that one bad dose or one bad line or one hit of something that could be laced could cause them to
Well,
die, right?
there's the same argument inside of that. One bad person that you associate yourself with in AA that teaches you something that you think is true, you find out it's not true, and now it creates a culture inside of you, and it turns into something that it's not. So it's all the same. I think what you're saying, what I'm hearing is it's the perspective of what you think alcoholism might be for you or whoever it might be. But that's the thing about alcoholism or an addiction, is that it's a self-diagnosed situation.
Correct.
And if that's normally not a thing for the medical world.
Sure.
So the medical world didn't do that. And the reason that they did give it the medical world, and I don't know if you guys know that information, is that because they weren't able to offer up services. Insurance wouldn't pay for services of something that wasn't a disease and it wasn't classified in the medical dictionary or whatever it's called in order to be able to pay for. So they gave it the classification of that for us to be able to service them, because otherwise they put them in sanitariums and they're putting them in places that didn't service them for the service they would get because they couldn't get paid for. And so that's kind of the caveat to that. So that's why people will say like it's a choice, it's a thing, but it's that. But I could tell you this 100% from the bottom of my heart, that there has been 100 times in my life when I was completely convicted. I looked at my son in his eyes and I told him that I was no longer going to shoot heroin, I wasn't going to do any drugs, and I wasn't going to harm him anymore. And then 8 hours later, I was shooting heroin. So like to that effect, like we are different. Like you wouldn't, like it might even, I think you're dog dad.
Sure.
Dog dad. So like you wouldn't like do anything that would affect your dog in a way that would give them a lower quality of life because you love them enough to be able to stop whatever that thing is. I would continue to do it and just hope that my dog was okay with it. That's the difference.
Yeah. It comes down to, I think, a big part of our minds are the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah.
Somebody's mind. Of like, we all have an addiction some way, shape, or form, no matter if it's addicted to cigars or wind therapy or caffeine or like being
Or
outside.
hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. So come down to
Some are less detrimental than
correct.
others.
Yeah.
Correct. But our minds are wild. They let some people can take a certain thing. And
I think that's medically why, you associate a lot of addiction to mental health in a sense now. So,
Sure.
it kind of ties back to the same question that we were saying, like nobody woke up and decided to be an addict, right? Nobody woke up and decided, oh, I'm going to do drugs for the rest of my life and I'm going to be okay with it. Because
that's the kicker. That's it, right? That's the argument. That's the debate. That's where we could sit here and we could talk about it forever, because there isn't a defining space, feeling, emotion, trauma, person, ethnicity, background, height, weight. None of it attributes to what those is. Everybody, the person that has it, and none of that contributes to that. Yeah. It's just that. Like you are that. My brother, same life, same trauma, same situations, same friend groups, same drugs early on. Very successful, didn't shoot heroin. Me, heroin was a good idea. You know what I mean? Like it's normal people. There's there isn't a shot that I can walk up to Cameron and say, hey, Cameron, do you want to shoot heroin today? And he's going to say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be like, no, I don't want to be homeless. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to die. And me, I'm like, well, it could probably be a good time, you know? And so, like, that's...
Yeah, you're fucked up.
That's crazy. That's the crazy part of it. And so we could debate on it a long time. And it is a tough topic.
Yeah,
and so,
I mean, not like saying it in a way where, you know, make you less equal or anything like that. But, like, I always, like, I'm like, anybody that's been down that road and made it back, and, you know, we always say, like, you know, you're still a person in recovery, you know, like, you're no longer the same anymore, you're a changed person.
Quitters.
But you're taking
Quitters.
it, yeah, back to the same thing, quitters. You're taking it one day at a time, right? And that needs to be more educated in a sense, whether it's in the medical field. You know, I'll tell you from just pharmacy, man, we do not focus on this. Like, when we go to school, we don't focus on this. We focus on heart disease. We focus on diabetes and all these other, you know, cancer, HIV, whatever it is. We don't focus too much on, like, mental health and psychology and stuff like that, even though it ties to 90% of all other diseases. You know, it leads to any other diseases or any other conditions whatsoever.
bad behaviors and
Yeah.
sleeping all the time. Oh, that's a hill I'll die on real quick. Is
Good hill.
Thank you.
The 1 day at a time shit. Like, I've heard it so much throughout my life. Like, how else can we fucking live? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a choice to live any more than 1 day at a time. So, like, sure, I live 1 day at a time, but if I could live 1 week at a time, I fucking would. You know what I mean? I have a bad week. Like, shit, I'd like to be next week. You know, but it's not. The reality is, like, we can only live 1 day at a time, 1 moment at a time, 1 second at a time, one. You know, and so it's like, you know, and so when people are like, oh, I just got to live 1 day at a time, they're like, oh, fucking cool. I don't have to live a week at a time now. Cool, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really even an option, but like, so that's some AA fucking rehab shit.
Tell him to get off his horse now.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. And so I want to end with just a quick little funny thing for some banter stuff, and then we'll let Cameron go home because I know he wants to go home and not listen to us talk. And so I think all of us know each other pretty well here, like, for the most part. And so if we're a group of friends, right?
This will be good.
And it was a zombie apocalypse out there, right? Who's getting eaten first and why?
First, or
Yep,
last?
go ahead.
I'm the type of person, and you guys can laugh at this all you want. When I'm eating my food, I save the best to last. So usually I'll probably, you know, if it's between us four, I'll probably eat that damn venison that I've never had before.
Yeah, but so, like, who as the zombies? Who are the zombies? gonna eat
Who's the
first?
zombies?
Yeah, who is not gonna survive? Like, who's gonna be the first one to die? Like, we're in a movie, zombie apocalypse, where it's fucking
You're
Walking
talking about
Dead.
the 4 of us right now. Who's
the 4 of us.
gonna die first?
Yeah, who's dying first?
Well, first I'm gonna go to these are my staples. Can you fire a firearm?
Yeah.
Can you survive with a firearm? You know how to run fast, and that's the biggest thing.
Damn it, but
Come
how
down to,
much
can
are you going to
shoot?
run?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can eat.
Well,
Would you have a gun on you though?
We're talking right now in this building.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, zombie apocalypse happens, like, we're here. Like,
Probably Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron's first.
He's going to be looking for his camera instead. So.
He's gonna be trying to film it. Like, this is a really good option. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. I'm happy to go first.
It's like, just get it over.
Get it over.
Yeah. Eat me.
mean,
Then you can start eating people.
Honestly, like, sounds pretty great. Undead. The undead.
Undead.
The undead for the forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
All right. Yeah, fair. Yeah. So you would sacrifice
I would
yourself for us.
sacrifice myself. Yeah.
Yeah. And fair. All right.
If I was at that point in my life where I couldn't see my kid, I'd probably just fucking go banter kamikaze crazy and just fucking sacrifice myself at that point too. Because what do you got to live for? If this is it, everybody's gonna die. I don't want to be around with all that bullshit. Unless it's like Zombie Land, I got a bunch of firearms and I can start unloading shit. I'm fucking ripping.
Yeah. No, he's a gun guy. I feel like he'd survive for a while. He's got probably 3 guns in his
Yeah,
car.
what's the point? It's already over.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
Well, what
Caveat
if
to
you're
that.
the cure? You know.
Well, then I'm not going to turn into a zombie.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
We're smoking cigars. We're in here. We had the Cure in the other room. They were terrified of cigar smoke. We're in a humidor with Chris. We got to get by.
What if the cure was heroin?
I would win. Yeah. No, I think that I would probably die first. All my skills that I have don't work against the dead. So, you know, the skills that I have is I can talk my way in and out of things, but they don't listen. So, you know, there's no. I'm not fast.
I have a pocket knife in my pocket too.
Yeah,
You guys got
see.
knives on you right now?
No.
See, we got for sure. See, exactly.
I have nothing to do with that.
I have shoes on that are not comfortable. They're just they look cool, so like I'm not gonna be able to run
Box
fast.
cutter,
I'll try to
bro.
box
What are you doing with box
that
cutter?
zombie that doesn't want to even
Somebody
listen.
with
So.
Yeah. No, I figured that'd be
If I had my Jeep, I'd have a firearm, but I'm on the motorcycle tonight. I didn't bring a gun because I'm coming here, but I always have a firearm with me.
fair.
99% of the time, I have a firearm with me. I'm willing to bet right now that Chris has a firearm somewhere in this building.
Yeah, I can see.
He's probably not going
Don't
to
put him
comment,
on
but
the spot like that.
I'm willing to bet a large amount of money.
If he's not allowed to have one, he doesn't have one. Of course, he would never do that.
Yeah, we don't wanna put
If he
you
gets
on
a
the
law,
spot.
Nothing regulates that.
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm willing to bet, looking at him, the kind of person he is,
for sure.
he's also probably
That seems judgmental.
he's the closet firearm guy too. I can see that about him.
Like, are you a knife guy?
No, this was a gift from my buddy Rob for his wedding. I just use it to open boxes, man. It's full of tape gunk, but whatever. It's a cool way to open boxes.
Well, I know a lot of times chefs like knives are kind of like
Listen, I got
great in
great
that.
kitchen knives.
Yeah.
I got great kitchen knives, but I'm not geeking out and going to his store more. We won't talk about them. That guy spends a boatload of money. If I know what he spends on the radio, my God. I've got guns, and I don't have kids, and I don't have very many kids that come over to the house, so I get to have my guns where they're useful, like my bedside table.
Yeah.
I'm a non-violence guy. I can't do any of it.
You don't protect your family?
I mean, I
You have a
protect.
daughter now? Or
Yeah,
coming?
I don't. I put it in a way where that could actually lead to her death in a way.
Perhaps.
So I'd
There's
rather
responsible gun ownership.
correct. But there's responsible to anything, and just to me is just I don't. It's not. I'm not against it by all means. It's just it's not for me.
I gotta
I'm the same
have
way.
something.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I
just-
gotta have, and this is a part of the zombie apocalypse. I gotta have some means of final, like
Correct. That's a hill I would die on.
last resort, like
Yes.
whatever. And I don't want to look someone in the face and shoot him. That's why I have a 50 caliber on the side of my bed because I'm gonna shoot through the door before he comes through.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a firm believer in one thing that whatever God has written for you, no matter what you do, what you have, how you live your life, you're predetermined kind of like before birth. So if you just have that acceptance in your mind, nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to live forever, but once you have
We all got a number, that's
Not
for sure.
me.
yeah, we all have that, predetermined everything that's happening in our life, right? So to me, it's like, why do I need to have, for example, we're talking about the gun situation. Like, if the gun is going to protect me, God would have put that in my plan, and if that makes sense. If I'm going to die in an accident, whether I'm driving the safest car in the world or the shittiest car in the world, that's set and done for me, So I don't really, I just accept whatever is given. And there's a saying in Arabic that says, "La takrahu shay'an la'allahu khayrun lakum." It means don't, whatever happens for a reason, right? And just kind of just
Say it again.
لا تكرهوا شيئا لعله خير لكم. It basically word for word it means don't hate on something for it could be the best thing for you in a sense. So we talk about the situation of how I used to work for my brother and my uncle. Coming to the United States, like I learned everything from my brother. How to be a pharmacist, how to be a great entrepreneur, all that stuff, and I took those, and when I left from working with him, I didn't have a job. I had bills to pay. I had nothing that I could vouch for me other than I know I'm gonna put my 200% to do what I needed to do. And I pursued opening my own pharmacy. I did everything that I needed to do, and here I am. I grind 1,000% every single day for the people around me, more than I care about the people for myself, right? And then I know how to treat those people. I know that everything that I've been through, whether good or bad, I'm going to take the best out of all those and apply it. So, whether it's for my partners that I work with or anybody, shout out to them. You said Catherine or Khaled is the other gentleman.
Khaled's a great guy.
I'm not a firm believer of, okay, hey, you're going to have to slave your life away before you can make partnership or anything like that. No, I'd rather show you the way, teach you what I have, and build that healthy relationship from the get-go.
Which you've done with both of them very much.
Yeah.
And they're both partners with you, and that's amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that,
Yeah.
It's kind of like where I take it where I didn't get that luxury. So, I'm not going to treat them the way that I was treated in a way.
Right.
I want them to have a better experience than I did, and so on and so forth. So, in a sense, that bad thing that happened to me losing my job or whatever it is, it basically put me in the best case scenario of my life. And
So I think that's an important thing where it's like when we talk about those kinds of things, and it's like I'm not a gun guy either.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry around something that I've never needed. Think about my life.
I'm not against it. I'll shoot a gun. Don't get me wrong. Like I'll go to the gun range. I'll play with it. My friends have it. Like I'll carry it around. I'll do whatever. Like it's just not for me to have on my waist or at home. So.
But all of the situations that I've had in my life, right? All of them. I've kicked in doors. I've done a lot of dumb shit. There's not been one situation other than the one situation where I had one. Or wait, I don't want to incriminate myself, but there hasn't been a situation other than one situation that I've needed a gun, and I lived in the east side of Detroit. I was homeless. I surrounded myself around really shitty people, and there hasn't been a time in my life where I was like, man, I wish I would have had a gun there. And so that's how my experience is with guns. For me, is like if I lived with the worst possible lifestyle, and there wasn't a space and time when I thought that a gun would have made me that I needed to protect myself with that, then why would I need it now when I'm living a good life?
Sweet Jerome.
Yeah, but it's not about protecting yourself anymore.
Nope.
It's about protecting other people that you care about.
Correct.
Sure. The other people, I haven't needed one though
So
either.
I'm telling you, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I don't ever go shopping anywhere ever, grocery store, anywhere ever without it on me.
Yeah, some people that's their
Because
thing.
that's why if I'm in a store,
again, I'm not against it.
Yeah, no, but
it's
that's
just not
my
for me,
perspective
right?
again. Because I said I want to be in a situation where I can't get her out because there's some crazy fool in there that had a bad day, and now he's going to come in and commit this massive crime and kill a bunch
No,
of
you'll be
people.
the guy on TV that's like, you shot the guy.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
It does
I'm
happen.
Not, I'm not going to ever not be that guy.
I just don't think back to what you said about God. I don't think God will ever put me in that type of
I hope
situation
not,
because
but I'll make sure that if anything, my job as a dad, I think a big part of that being a dad is that I know that I'm going to do everything I can and die on that hill to make sure she gets out safe from anywhere I'm ever putting myself.
I'll just let me get a hug, give you a hug, dude. You can't shoot me if I'm asking you for a hug.
Bullshit,
You know?
they
You know?
can't.
Yeah, they can.
That's a Kevin Hart. Come on, bring it in. You're gonna shoot me?
Within 5 minutes of walking into a movie theater, I've already planned out how I'm going to stop the shooter.
I have some friends of mine that I'm very close with that I hunt with, and they literally will not sit in a restaurant without they'll be facing the doorway all the time. One
See, I don't
particular-
live like that.
No, he's just that way. He's ingrained in that for so long in life
Prior
and society.
preparation prevents piss poor performance.
There you go, my friend. 6 P's.
Okay, yeah. No, but now that you brought that up, we're circling back and we're gonna end with this: the Hallmark card for the sick grandma. What is the line?
Sick grandma.
Yeah.
The what is it?
Or sick friend, or you get well soothed. Like what is the line?
Don't be a pussy.
That's the card, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
it.
We'll have that available in the
Yeah,
next
we'll
couple
have it,
weeks
yeah.
here.
Yep.
It'll be at the store at the Black Rose.
Yep.
So this week, I'm going to put you on the spotlight because I've been the last two spotlights. This will be kind of fun for me because you don't know as much about it. Well, you do. You have an understanding of it. But you're going to do the Sylvania Family Pharmacy commercial today.
Oh God.
So there's the camera over there. Think about it for a second. You already know what services he offers. You already know the pharmacy business pretty well. We're going to end it with TJ doing the commercial today for Abe's business for him.
Let's hear it.
Yep.
If it's good, I might pay for it.
And you see me do 2 so far. So
Yeah. Are you in the market for free drugs? Nope. That's not it.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
They're not free.
no.
Nope. I wish, but
Are you looking to change your life? Do you need mental health meds? Do you need medications to help you with your cholesterol? Well, at Sylvania Family Pharmacy, I fucking fucked it up.
It's all right.
At Sylvania Family Pharmacy, they have whatever medication you might need to help ill your dope.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
He did great, guys.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, TJ.
I wouldn't pay for that.
yeah, I wouldn't either. Sorry, DJ.
Yeah, no,
Good
yeah.
try. Maybe next time.
Yeah. Then that's a wrap.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abe, again for coming, and Chris.
Of course. Thank you for having me, guys.
And absolutely,
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Until the next episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.